If it ain't one thing, then it's another. That's why I prepare like no other. You don't have to be scared. All you need to do is just prepare.
Hey, this is Dave with the Shepherd School, and today what we're going to do is we're going to pressure can some bacon. Grocery store had these packs of end pieces. Basically, it's a 40-pound or a 40-ounce container. Got it for about $4, so it's about 10 cents an ounce. And I got 3 or 4 of them, And so what we're going to do is we're going to pressure can them. Now we're going to do it in the raw. So we don't need to put any liquids in it. And I'm not going to go through the whole canning process because we've done that before. So what I'm going to show you is how we pack it, and then I'm going to pressure can it, and then we'll come back when it's done so you can see what it looks like. This is a little different than some of the people who are pressure canning whole bacon strips using parchment paper, and we might do that a little later on. But mostly, when you do the bacon, whole bacon in the parchment paper, it doesn't really fry it very crispy, right? And so personally, I like my bacon crispy if I'm going to eat it, as strips. But with all the beans and stuff we're storing, it's nice to have some bacon for flavoring. And so these end pieces are a very cost-effective way of doing that. And by pressure canning them, in the can without having to mess with folding, it's a whole lot easier. So let's go over here, get a little close up. I'll show you how we're going to pack it. All right, here's our bacon. And do it in the raw like this, it's going to shrink a little bit. So we're going to pack it as tight as we can in the jar. I should probably use smaller jars too, so I'll have closer to the amount that I'd want to put in a big pot of beans. But these are the jars that I've got, so that's what I'm going to use. And since this shrinks, see, pretty big old chunk there. Since it shrinks, the more we get it in there, the better. Basically, these are just trimming when they get the bacon for commercial sale in strips. In the grocery store, you got ends and pieces because bacon don't come off the pig all flat and square, or pieces that are too thick or too thin, too fatty, whatever. So but for throwing in a pot of beans or making bacon bits, this is just perfect. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you'll know that my idea is, first thing you want is to get your staples so you've got something to eat. But once you've got something to eat, once you're not starving, you may want something nice to eat. So, once we got our, bulk food, beans and rice, wheat, then I started looking to stuff that makes that a little more palatable. And this bacon fits in on that. It's more of a luxury than a survival. However, all this fat would come in pretty handy. And I'm sure there's somebody out there who's got a better way of doing this. And I tell you, I'd love to see it. Because I'm just trying to learn myself. Boy, that's a whole lot of fat right there. Like I said about guns, I ain't saying I got the best way, and I sure ain't saying I got the only way, but I do got a way. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back, wash my hands, wash around the outside of the jar, you know, rub it off. You don't want any fat or meat on the outside of the lids. Boil my lids, put them on with the little magnet lid lifter, and then pressure can this. We're going to pressure can it at 10 pounds for 90 minutes, and once that's done, we're going to come back and show you what it looks like. So we'll come back in just a minute. Okay, here our jars are straight out of the canner, and you see they're still bubbling, and that fat is rendered down, and they've shrunk quite a bit. I think they all sealed pretty good. They've all sucked down, but when it cools, hopefully all the lids will stay sucked down, and if so, we'll just put them in the storage. Any of them that the lid pops back up, indicating a bad seal, we'll put in the fridge and use within a week or so. That's all there is to it. Pretty simple. And until next time, you can always catch online at www.tngun.com.
I've got a plan, fits my point of view. I'm getting